Alright, welcome back to Am I Actually the Strongest? Anime Review, episode number 6. I was planning to do this last night, but I was like so tired of last night that I just decided not to do it. So I'm doing it right now. So, these two episodes are I got mixed up with Some People and Not a Bad Night. Now, they don't bring up the whole thing of the Demon King thing in these two episodes, not particularly, no. So, basically, it's time for Haruto to start his class. And it turns out Iris actually is in Class A, he's in Class C. So then they sort of do it in a written test, see everybody's qualified to do C, and he apparently scores the best out of everybody. So he's really booted up to Class A after like one lesson in the class. One lesson, at this one test. Poof, done. He gets to Class A. We have Iris. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this in the last video. The prince returns. Excuse me, he's a bit nicer. Also, he's jacked too. Yes, also his sister pops up too, Marne, where she's much more beautiful than when she last appeared. But my gosh, the heir to the throne, my gosh. Did he put on muscle over the course of 5 years after to have his butt handed to him by Haruto in a previous episode? Apparently all chummy, and they mention all sorts of stuff, including like hidden features, which teacher, of course, wants to recruit the three of them to join a laboratory. Well, two of them anyways, Iris and Haruto. The prince, no. And like, no, you can't exactly do that. And it turns out the next part of the TIS lab, which they do join. By the way, also this teacher, very sexy lady. Oh my gosh. It's like the whole purpose of this character. You watch the anime, it's like, yeah, this woman is here just to try to seduce Haruto. And Haruto is probably not going to be into it. I mean, visually, that's the purpose of the character. But does she try to seduce him in a way of like a woman always seduces a guy? Not really, no. She just bugs him for a bit. And then, of course, then we have it where they join the actual, like, they officially join Princess's lab, where we see this other guy there. Apparently this guy was actually her tutor, who has stuck with her for years. Purely because, basically, her parents requested that he stayed. Despite the fact she apparently outgrew him, but apparently still keeps him around because he's good, basically. So, it's a 4-person lab now, and also, like, oh, here's this blonde guy, basically, in my closet. Yeah, it turns out this actually is the vice president who Haruto, as Shiva, decided to put a device in his shoulder, which, of course, they studied it, per se, which that was really cool. And they can't exactly remove it, so all you gotta do is call off duel, which he actually considers that. But then he decides, oh, let's set out assassins to kill them. So then you have the four of them celebrate, of course, and Iris gets drunk. Like, everyone falls asleep. So, by the way, at this party is actually Haruto too, not the actual Haruto, because the actual Haruto is one posing as Shiva, which they actually show up a couple times. First, to question Iris, who briefly freezes him. Actually, she freezes him first, then he freezes her. And of course, she calls off everybody, so if you're curious about him. Then, like, oh, like, because they're going after him, so Haruto 1 as Shiva decides to, well, we have these group of 20 assassins sent to kill them. Like, there's no mention of the third guy, the fourth guy in this room, like, killing him. Nope, just kill Haruto, Iris, and their teacher. So, of course, they get there, and they close the building, and they're blocked by a barrier. Yes, a barrier. And like, oh look, there's this weird looking door. Open it, the person gets grabbed inside. After some people grab, like, open the door, oh, there's Shiva. Shiva's there, Shiva's there, Shiva's there, and all these, like, 20,000 doors. And they all get beaten. And then Shiva proceeds to take them back to their master, who turns out to be the vice president. He's like, I will not go down this way. So he takes a syringe with this weird chemical in it, puts it in his arm, and becomes a monster. Yes. And Haruto proceeds to battle him. Of course, Char's giving encouragement, and also pointing out some flaws, like he's getting paler, the fact he's getting smaller. So to get him out of that particular form, he summons a bunch of swords, axes, and knives to slice up all that stuff, and somehow that turns him back normal, so then he crawls away like he's a caveman. Okay. And then later on we have Char basically considered, we have these potential, potential organization, which turns out, the Haruto may even lie about it, but in the case of, he found out, this organization does actually exist. So, basically, Haruto knows about this, that Char is investigating, so basically, he proceeds to put protections on them to make sure they investigate safely. And that's pretty much the show in a nutshell. Well, the first season anyways. I'm hoping for a season 2, because there's no reason we can't have a season 2 of this. This was really good. I mean, you gotta point out that, not a bad episode in 12 episodes. You would think, as well written this thing is, and how visually it's done really well, we might get season 2 out of this. I haven't heard anything about it at all, which is weird. Which, you would think that Crunchyroll, which they did this also register here, which I told Leslie McDonald about this, where the only reason why the register here got seasons 2 and 3 because because Crunchyroll themselves asked the studio who makes Register Hero to renew for another season. I read about that, and I told him that he had no idea about that. That he was surprised to hear about that. Yeah. But the only reason we got season 4 of the show, which is going to be every new episode this coming Wednesday, is probably because the third season did really well for Crunchyroll. Yeah. But this is really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this. My next bench watching anime will be one that features one of your voice actors in. I'll be watching that later. But now, basically, I'm going to a couple different anime. See, there are 4 brand new anime episodes aired today. Now, one of them I was really looking forward to watch right now, but the episode's not been released yet. And that's Black Butler, which, of course, will be the final episode of the season, which is not been released yet for some reason. Not sure why, but it just hasn't. So next up is Scooped Up by S-Rank Adventurer. Yep, that's next. That'll be next after I do my review for the Apothecaries and a Comic Corner. Okay, thanks, you. Bye.